to Marine Innovations. We just sold a brand new Motor Guide Tour, and of course the gentleman wants all the TH Marine accessories put on before he even picks it up. So what we're going to do today is really concentrate on installing the equalizers and give you a step-by-step how-to on how to do this. And the first thing we're going to do is open this up to the stowed position. It's very important to have this thing, you know, in the lockdown position and go from there. The next thing we're going to do is pull these out, get all your stuff laid out where it needs to be. Your directions are on the back of the packaging right here. I highly recommend you read those, and then there's a couple places you want to take some notes. Right here on 5 is very important. You know, you're going to want to write down 1 1/16". Of course my pen doesn't write. 1 1/16" and 2 9/16". This will just help you make sure you're putting your stuff in the right place. The rest of it, like I say, you probably need to read it, but the reason I'm saying that you need to read this is because your template's in here and we have to cut the template out, so it's going to chop your directions up a little bit. See, I'm just going to cut this right on out of here. Doesn't have to be really exact, as long as your holes are in place. The next thing we're going to do here is we're just going to take a razor knife and just cut an X in these holes here. Be very careful not to cut yourself. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and just put a hole right at my center mark. Alright, the reason we X these, as you'll see right now, is this will it allows us to put these right where they need to be, so we can now drill our holes. And basically all I'm doing right here is just putting a little mark on my mount, and I'll come back in a second and actually drill my holes. Save this because you will need it on the other side. For this demonstration we're only going to do one side right now. Now this is where your 1 1/16" and 2 9/16" measurements come in. You want to make sure we're in exactly 1 1/16" up, which I'm not. I'm at exactly 1 inch, so I got to move that up a little bit. And 2 9/16", which I'm dead on the money there. So I just got to see, now that I've got a mark, I can kind of gauge how much higher I need to come. So boom, now we're at exactly 1 1/16" and 2 9/16". This mark, because your template lays directly on it, we really don't have to measure that. We know it's right because the template lays right there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to drill a few pilot holes, and we'll get this all going. It doesn't take but a few seconds. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to step up through the bit range a little bit. I don't want to go straight to my 5/16" bit quite yet. I just feel this gives you a better hole when you work your way up to it. As you can see right here, it's just basic hand tools, nothing really elaborate to do the job. Like I say, we've installed piles and piles of these, so we kind of got it down pat. All right, now what I'm going to do a little different, and it's something I recommend, it's not necessary, is I'm actually going to tap these holes and put threads in them. You know, at this point, you can either just put your 5/16 hole in there, slide them in and tighten them down, or you can run up to, you know, your local hardware store for $4 or $5, buy this 5/16 by 18 tap, and you know, do it that way. Like I say, everyone that leaves my shop is tapped, but like I say, it is not necessary. As you can see, pretty quick, pretty straightforward. Now we're to the point we're getting ready to put our ball studs in. And when you open your bag, you'll notice you've got two different length ball studs. You also have two different thickness nuts. Your thin nut will go with your short one, your thick nut will go with your long one. So it's pretty easy there. What we're going to do right now, we're just going to start with the easiest one to get to. We're just going to put a drop of Loctite on here. A little more than I anticipated, but that's alright. We'll just transfer it over. We're just going to thread that on in there. Then we'll take our wrench, snug that down, wipe away our excess here. Come in here and just put another little drop right here. Then we're going to take our thin nut, get that started, and just tighten it down. I'm just going to hold a little pressure on this and snug it down good and tight. Like I say, pretty straightforward. To put the long stud in, we actually close the mount so we can access the rear of the mount here. Like I say, I usually just give myself a little room. I've already got my blue Loctite on here. Now what you want to do here is just start it in until you can actually see it just barely starting to peek through over here. Right there. See how it's coming through? Well, we're going to back it up a little bit, and then we're going to take our little nut here. You can do like this, just put a little piece of tape on there, you know, just something to hold the nut in place. Slide it down there and just start tightening your ball stud until you feel it. You'll feel it actually grab that nut. At that time you can grab a little bit better wrench. And I'm going to use the speed wrench here to actually speed things up. So I got this good and tight on my threads. Now I'm just going to come in here and tighten this inside one up and just jam it everything good and tight so we don't have anything coming loose down the road. Alright, good and tight. Like I say, of course you would do the same thing to the other side, but you know, just for this video we're just going to do this one side real quick. You'll pop it back open. You don't have to fully open it now, but now we're just going to install, you know, our TH Marine G Force Equalizer here. I always snap it on the bottom first, and then I'll actually lift this mount up, see how it's dead center right there? It'll snap right on. So just like that, our equalizer's installed. We got plenty of clearance. Everything works like it's supposed to.